The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast platform, its affiliates, or even the hosts. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The host and guests are not liable for any errors of omission in the content, nor for any losses, injuries, or damages arising from the use of the information provided. Listeners are encouraged to seek professional advice relevant to their specific circumstances. Now enjoy the show.
Welcome everyone to Spotlight with That B, episode numero dos. So I am excited today to bring to you a different type of spotlight. This particular spotlight I chose to do as I was mulling things over, deciding on who to spotlight, what to spotlight, and something occurred to me. I wanted to share a little bit of that be myself with everyone and share some of my interests. So, in a way, this is a spotlight of Betty to share with my followers on different things that I enjoy as far as activities or as far as things that I would love to do either with a partner or with a friend. A lot of people that know me know that I'm always posting things about animals and wildlife. Those that are close to me, they also know that I love oceanography. I love going to the seaquariums. I love going to museums. I love doing those types of things. And most of all, I love doing things outdoors. So, one of the things that occurred to me this weekend was, I live really close to the Metro Zoo or Zoo Miami. And I feel not a lot of people, especially people I know from outside of Florida, are aware of how fun and still economical it could be to go to the zoo. Also, I've had quite a few gentlemen in the past few months asking, but what types of things do you like to do when you're out on a date? One of the things I actually love to do is go to the zoo. As you all know, I love to go to the park and do my miles, my 5 miles with JD, but three with that B. And this is one of the mindsets I also had this weekend. I want to be outside. I want to walk around. I want to get my miles in. What could I do that isn't going to the same park? So I decided, well, let me go to Zoo Miami. It's like a really big park with a whole bunch of wildlife, which I love to see. So I pretty much said, let me go ahead, go there, take a lot of content, get some pictures so I could share with all my followers what it is that I enjoy on my time off. Now, for the very first time, I went solo dolo to Zoo Miami. I thought initially I might not have just as much fun as I've had in the past, but I actually had a good time still. Um, I was still clocking my miles, my steps on the Step Up app, because I did want to also make sure that I at least completed my 3 miles with that B. So as I'm paying attention to my Step Up app, I decided to start getting content. Initially, I wanted to just do a quick gallery type feel of pictures where you could just have a view of what I was looking at. So for me, I think the price, I do know that a lot of couples, especially lately with the economy and everything, price is a huge factor when they're going out and trying to find things to do together as a couple. I thought the price was very economical. It's definitely way cheaper than if you're doing one of these parks in Orlando. One of the things that I really like about it is that it has ample parking. It is very close to the entrance, and it is no cover for the parking. It's free parking. You walk up to the line. There's always a line, by the way. You walk up to the line, you get your tickets. They will ask you for your zip code. I believe there is some type of discount if you are a Florida resident. So it is a strong possibility that if you are getting a higher rate, all you have to do, I already searched, is all you have to do is go on Groupon, because for whatever reason, as long as I've been going to the zoo, there's always a Groupon that is very fair priced for Metro Zoo. And I checked the price, and it's just like if you're getting the Florida discount. So, so you walk in, and one of the first things that you actually will start seeing is that they want to take your picture for free, and then when you leave the park, they'll give you the picture. I opted not to do that because I was already getting my own content. So, there is throughout the entire park, there are, and this is for those that aren't familiar with the way this particular park is set up. Um, there is a lot of little areas where you could get beverages, and mostly frozen beverages and very cold beverages. There is alcohol. You can have a beer. You can have different types of alcohol. It's just not one particular item. Um, However, it is always, every time I've been in Miami to the zoo, it is always extremely hot. I call it hell hot. Normally, I go on my birthday, but my birthday is in July, which in July, you're going to melt. So the fact that they have like frozen lemonade and things of that sort, I always opt to do something like that because you will be there a few hours walking around, enjoying everything. And depending on how hot it is that particular day, and the day I went, it was in the 90s, you could get sunstroke. So be safe. Make sure you stay hydrated. They have, as I'm saying, ample machines and different setups throughout the park. Every few feet, you see something where you can actually grab something to hydrate. They also have stations throughout the entire park where it's the misting stations, which I love that too. So it's the misting stations. You can choose to do that. They have water fountains throughout the entire park. And they also have the ones where if you have your own container, you can, where you put the water bottle, you can actually fill up your water bottles or whatever container you have with water that they're providing for you. And that's at no cost. If you want bottled water or, again, a beer or lemonade, that you do have to purchase. That is not comped or free. So throughout the park, one of the things that I noticed, which is another reason why I wanted to do the spotlight, and one of the reasons why I wanted to see if more people would consider this as an option of something fun to do in Miami. Since I always know everybody always does the same thing. We always go to the beach and they always, go to clubs or bars. This is, again, another option. So one of the things that I like is that they do give you the option, if you purchase something, to round up as far as to the next dollar, because they will donate whatever money that you're rounding up to. They're donating that amount for some type of animal reserve or some type of preservation that they have going on, something where it's going to benefit the animals. And the thing that I did notice is after the pandemic, I was aware that one of the places in Miami that took a hard hit because of the lack of people that were attending was the zoo. And it affected it in a way where you could tell that they need funding. Um, it's still a very nice zoo, but I think it definitely could get vamped up a little bit, is the word I like to use. Um, there was enough animals where I definitely was still enjoying what I was seeing, but I did see that there were certain areas where it did state that there were no animals at that particular location, but because they're setting something up for, for the future. Um, the ones that were there, which are my favorites, are the primates, elephants, giraffes, the zebras. Um, there was a hippo, a baby hippo actually, which was super cute. I don't know if I was able to get a picture of some of the animals, unfortunately, because it was so hot. Now, I thought I did really good because I was like, every time I go, this is what I'm thinking. Every time I go, it is so hot that I go too early in the morning. And this is what I'm thinking. The animals wake up at like crack of dawn when the sun comes out. So the animals wake up. They're already out and about. So by 10 a.m., 11 a.m., they're like super exhausted. It's nap time, which every time I saw an animal napping, I was like, my God, I would love to be them right now. So I figured getting there a little bit later this time, I was like, problem solved. None of them are gonna be sleeping. It was so hot out, it seemed like they were all like, nah, nap time is extended. But I was still able to get quite a few good pictures, good videos to show everyone. So I really enjoyed it. I made a little list. I made a little list of the things that I definitely wanted to mention. Not only is there a cool off station every few feet as you are walking through the zoo, but there is also a area dedicated to it's like a water park area, and it's dedicated just for when you go into that particular area. It's water everywhere. It's kind of like a playground, but in the area where they're shooting water at you, you're getting misted all over. I personally wore I wore my bathing suit, my bikini, under what I was wearing for that day, knowing that at a particular time I was going to walk through that area and I was going to be soaked. Again, it was so hot. I loved it. All the kids usually love that particular area, and that area is also next to a it's like an outdoor restaurant area where there's a lot of seating. I believe those are tables and chairs. They're not necessarily like a picnic area. And then there's also a lot of bathrooms throughout the entire park, and the bathrooms are clean. It isn't something where it makes you think, nah, I'll hold it for the next time, or until I leave. So again, these are things I look for when I go to particular places. They do have bike rentals and scooter rentals. They also have a big pond, and in that particular pond, out of there, you could rent what is it? Pedal boats. So little pedal boats while you're in the pond, and you could. And to me, this is why I'm thinking this is perfect for like a date, because you could go ahead and you and your person, you could go ahead and rent one of these pedal boats and just be enjoying each other's time as you're just going around this pond, just looking into each other's eyes and having conversation. Ah, my God, I would like, why a man hasn't ever, ever come to me and told me, you know what, Betty? Let's go out. Let's go out one day and what is it that you like to do? I know you like animals. Let's take B to the zoo. That has never happened. However, I can take myself, obviously. But I keep on thinking this would be a perfect date night. So you could do the pedal boats. All the staff is super friendly, by the way. That's the other thing that stood out to me. A lot of them are of high school age or maybe early college years age. Shout out to all of them, by the way, because in that heat, the fact that they maintain this friendly customer service attitude says a lot about them. And I'm telling you, like 100, it felt like if it was like 95 or 100 degrees out this past weekend. And as I mentioned, in the summer, it's way worse. So the staff is friendly, at least that was my experience. They do offer tours. And they also offer this train that goes around the entire park. And while you're on that train, the the conductor, I think is what they call him. He is actually on the mic, and he's also telling you about all the different animals, and it'll stop in different locations. So let's see. I'm trying to make sure that I'm mentioning everything. So one of the other things that I noticed is, as I was walking around and as I was taking all the different pictures and videos, is how peaceful it was, even though at times I would pull up on an area where there was, like a big family there or a lot of kids or younger kids, which tend to make a lot more noise. But all in all, the entire energy in the actual zoo was that of a very friendly, happy, um, very family oriented type of location. I saw a couple people on dates where I was like, I'm like that weird lady that I'm watching everybody as they're walking by and they're like holding hands or they're getting to know each other. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that guy actually knows what he's doing because he took you to the right place. And I think this is what I wanted to point out also to people. That is the perfect date idea because like that you're walking around and you're really getting to know the person whom you went there with. Also, if you're there with friends or with family, it's just a really good time, and it's something where there's no stress. You can walk around at your own pace. There is a lot of seating in the entire, there was so many benches everywhere that I looked and seats that at no time did I even realize that my knee was, bothering me or anything of that sort. So I really, really enjoyed my entire day um, while I was there. I was there actually quite a few hours. I ended up getting sunburned. My nose is all burned, my forehead. But all in all, I really enjoyed myself. Um, Lately, I'm really big on wanting a lot of peace. And also, I'm really big at making sure that while I'm out doing all these different activities, that one of the things that I'm paying attention to is how it is that I am able to enjoy all this time with myself and actually getting to know what it is that I really like to do, all the activities that I would like to do with someone else. Is it something where I would, for example, I would love to bring my nieces and my nephews there, even though they are extremely rambunctious, whether it be my nieces and nephews from my ex relationship to my sister's kids, which I have actually been there with my sister and her kids one time. We went as a family, and it's something where it's always a really good time. So I wanted to make sure that my whole experience is something that it at least ignites this feeling of I want to experience it. If I have family, I want to definitely make sure that I bring my family so they can have a look and see what it is Betty's talking about. Um, so I do encourage everyone to round up whenever they make a purchase. That way, the money can go to proceeds on helping out the animals at the zoo. Um, there was a particular area that I saw that it's something where I feel that if they had more money coming into the zoo and they had um, more residents even of Miami actually going there and doing different activities. I do know, for example, one of the activities that they have at the zoo is they have something for Halloween, and they also have something where they do. I want to say it's a 5K, but it might actually be a little bit longer. But let's just say it's one of the runs that they do at the zoo, and that's actually in October. And I saw that it is posted. They have a sign up where it's posted that they will be doing that again this year. I might actually go do that and go do a spotlight that particular day as well. I've always wanted to do the run at the zoo, and I think by October I should at least be able to jog. So that's something I would definitely want to support. All in all, I just would like to give everyone an option again of something additional you could do when you come to Miami where you don't feel as if you're always forced to have to do the same thing, like go drinking, go to the beach. There's so many things here in this city that make it a beautiful city. It has a lot of craziness going on at times, but there's also a lot of areas like Zoo Miami where you can really have a lot of family fun, or it's something where you could definitely enjoy the outdoors, um, where it's still not a party atmosphere, even though they still do offer drinks and they still do offer beer and they still do offer food while you are there. Um, so I pretty much just wanted to spotlight the zoo because I was aware that it definitely needs help as far as having more foot traffic. So I hope somebody sees this and it encourages them to bring their family, or again have a date night, or be like myself and go alone, um, get some content, enjoy the good vibes as you're walking around. There was this breeze as I was walking around, and it was again hella hot. But there was this breeze as I was walking around that I was like, oh my goodness. There was an area too that they have because they also have a lot of different types of plants, and they have a lot of areas where you can tell because as you're walking through and the wind is blowing, you hear the sound that these particular trees are making, and it's bamboo trees. And that particular area it's like an entire vibe that you need to experience, especially if you like to meditate. um, I actually walked through there quite a few times. There was a cool breeze that was blowing as I was walking through, and I was just like, this is definitely an experience that someone that is looking also to do something peaceful, I would encourage them to do that too. You can feed some of the animals, like the giraffes. I do not know if I actually sent the picture of a sign that I took that I believe has the pricing and then also shows you that that is the giraffe feeding station. I personally this time did not feed the giraffes. It was a huge line to do so. But I also would encourage people that if you go to also feed the giraffes. I love doing all this type of stuff. So I wanted to make sure that I mention it. If you come to Miami, try all the different things that this beautiful city has to offer. Um, I know at times it gets a lot of slack because we tend to be a big city and there's a lot of hectic things that go on. But there's, as I keep mentioning, there is a lot of things that you could do where it's very peaceful, or it's definitely beautiful views that you get to experience. And I would say Zoo Miami is definitely one of these locations. Um, I am not sure if there is a particular time of the year where the zoo closes because it is Miami. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I've ever been in the winter, but it is a strong possibility. So I do suggest this. If you are looking now, you're interested and you're like, you know what, Betty did tell me about the zoo. This is something that I would love to do. Um, Definitely check first to make sure that it doesn't close at a particular time of the year, because there are things in Miami that I have heard that will close for summer, which Zoo Miami does not close for summer, but it might close in the winter. That I'm not too sure of. So, or maybe when it's too cold out, and I'm not sure if certain animals might not be around because it's too cold and they might bring them inside. So, all those are things I think you might want to double check first. I do know that there is a sign posted before you enter where they do let you know if there are certain animals that, for whatever reason, they're not, the viewing of that particular animal is not available. And they'll list the actual animal, and then it'll say, the areas under construction or something of that sort. And because of that, you're not going to be able to see the animal in its habitat. But most of the animals were available to view. I was able to see my favorite, which is the chimp. And there was one, and I think there was like a couple more, but they were all sleeping by the time I showed up. So, and also the gorillas. So I again tried to get as much content as I could with all my favorite animals. There were others. There was, I was just discussing it with RG, my engineer, and the homie, and I was telling him about the time that I had, but there was so many pictures that the most I was able to send for this particular allotted 30 minutes that I selected is about 20 pics. I'm not sure if you will all be able to see them all, but hopefully you'll at least get to see my favorite animals, which again are the elephants, the giraffes, whatever type of primate, gorillas, chimps. There were some bears, some black bears, a few of them, but they were all sleeping, and they were all like huddled together in some cave looking area. So there was zebras. I did hear an interesting fact about the zebras, and I think I'll say this, and I will jump off. I'll say my goodbyes because my time is almost up. But I definitely wanted to say this. One of the things that I heard was, and I do recommend that you do the tours, because this I heard as I was standing next to one of the gentlemen that was giving the tours. And there was a kid that was asking him, why is the zebra by himself? And they were actually, and does anybody ride the zebra? It was a very small child. And I heard the tour operator tell him, well, actually, the zebra is by himself because zebras are known to be very rambunctious. And even if they're out in the wild, let's just say this particular zebra is in Africa where he's from, and this is, the tour operator telling the child, um, he, zebras are known to be animals that you can't really ride. That's why you never see people riding zebras, because they are one of the animals that they're not easy to tame at all. They're actually very aggressive. So this particular gentleman was telling the kid he's here by himself because he doesn't get along with a lot of other animals. And what we're trying to do right now is find him a girlfriend because he's at that age where he's very rambunctious. The kid was like, oh, okay. So you're looking for a girlfriend? I mean, the reaction that this kid had was priceless. I wish I could have gotten a video of him. But I think that's the other thing that I really enjoyed about going, was that I got to hear all the kids and all the crazy stuff that they were saying. I did get a video of, there was some wild boars that were in the heat of the moment, in full blown love session, and I made a quick joke and I posted it, but I did take it down, because it is two animals in the wild doing what they do best. There was a few animals that when I showed up, spring is in the air, which means it was love time. But I was only able to capture, or I tried to only capture that one particular instance, and then I didn't do it for the other animals. So beware if you do go with kids, because you can't control what animals do in the wild. With that, I leave everyone. Once again, I hope this inspires whomever watches it to do something different. And when you come to Miami, consider going to Zoo Miami. Again, it's one of my favorite places. For my future papito, this is actually something I like to do. So for those that ask, what does a woman like me like to do when I go out on a date? Take me to the zoo. You might want to sit down, have a conversation with the girl that you have an interest in, and actually see, is this something she might like to do? And if so, go ahead and take her to the zoo. Buy her a whole bunch of stuff, frozen lemonade and some of the food that they have there, and take her to go feed the giraffes. I bet you it will be a memory that she will never forget. So I think with that, I have said enough. My next spotlight, I'm not sure what I'm going to do it on still. I do have somewhere that I will be going this week, but y'all are just going to have to wait and see what I decide to do. I do appreciate everyone that has been supporting me, and those that viewed episode 1, I appreciate you all as well. Let me see. Does this do the hearts here? So it's hearts coming at you. Hearts coming at you, guys. With that, I leave everyone. Have an amazing night. My alarm's going off, so that means my half an hour is up, guys. Go to the zoo.